Over the last few weeks, right here on WION Climate Tracker, we have kept our focus on Europe. The continent has been baking under one heat wave after another. We have been telling you the reasons behind this. We even tried to decode if Europe is capable of combating this unusual weather event. But today we are bringing to you a different kind of a story. It's not about the impact of climate change, but about the climate change deniers. Those who are using social media to spread misinformation on climate change. Scientists have been urging citizens to see the Europe heat wave as a reminder of how fast our climate is changing. The experts claiming that this unusual weather phenomenon will become much more common than before. But not everyone is convinced. This post went viral today. It is a screen grab from a 1935 New York Times article. It says the mercury had hit 52.7 degrees Celsius in Zaragoza, which is in northeastern Spain. And why is this grabbing attention? Because the temperature is much higher than Spain's record. According to the National Weather Office, 2021 summer recorded the highest temperature in Spain. The mercury hit 47.6 degrees Celsius on the 14th of August, 2021. So what is the catch here? Well, Zaragoza's highest temperature that day in 1935 was just 39 degrees Celsius. The National Weather Office also confirmed this. They say there is no log of a temperature above 50 degrees Celsius. Here's another one now. This one is a snapshot of a 1957 Spanish weekly newspaper. The front page of El Español reads, "The hottest summer of the century." It refers to a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius in central Spain. But climate experts are refuting this data. The criteria to ensure optimal measurement must meet certain parameters, and this one was put directly under the sun. Whereas in reality, the sensors must be protected from the sun and rain. And these are not one-off instances. Many more examples have emerged. Figures cited from the past are often incorrect or taken out of context. Scientists say this has mainly been to misinform and deny that climate change exists. At times, this is pushed by those who majorly benefit from climate change. And with me on the broadcast this minute is Louis Torrent. He is a climate expert joining me from Barcelona. Thanks very much for Louis for being here with us. We have been getting our viewers a sense of these posts that have now gone viral. Explain to us why the way this data was put out in these posts was questionable and incorrect.
Yeah, that's true. In the last few weeks, we've seen dozens, if not hundreds, of posts on social media, especially on Twitter, highlighting that very high temperatures, reaching even 50 degrees Celsius, have been reached in the past in Spain. But that's something that's not true, as you already mentioned before. It's been double-checked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked by climate scientists, meteorologists, even the National Meteorological Agency. So these people, what they want to do is just to put a single figure, a single fact, a single event to prove that what's happening now, it already happened in the past. And that in this case, this was not only not true, but in fact, it's an incorrect way of putting things, because climate change is a succession of events, is a tendency, is a trend. It's not one single fact or one single event. What we are seeing with the climate change patterns is that we are reaching higher and higher temperatures over time. So, for example, in the last decade, 9 of the most extreme temperatures worldwide happened in the last decade. So we've seen a tendency, and for example, with heat waves. And what scientists are forecasting is that this will increase over time. But of course, there are certain political parties, social movements that are not interested in climate action, and they are pushing these certain facts that are not double-checked, that are not even true, or sometimes even put out of context to prove otherwise.
Right. Stay with me, Louis. Let's also get in Jos Timmerman onto the broadcast with me from the Netherlands. He is a senior climate and water expert at Waterframes. Thanks very much, Jos, for being here. Your reaction now to these posts that we've seen going viral, and as Louis was just pointing out, the way this data has been put out is questionable.
Yes, that's true. There's a tendency, especially under climate deniers, just to pick out one or two cherries and not looking at the whole tree, so to say. There have been extremes and records in the past, but as my colleague from Barcelona just told you, that there's it's most of the records are over the last decade. And for instance, what you also see is that usually when there was like a heat wave in Europe, it would be like a heat wave in Spain or a heat wave in Italy or a heat wave in France. And this summer we have seen that there's a heat wave, and it's in Spain, in Portugal, in France, in Italy, in Switzerland, in Austria, in Belgium, in the Netherlands. So it's a widespread heat wave, which is really different from what used to be like incidental heat waves. So yeah, when you look at what climate deniers are trying to do is just do some, identify some small points, and then yeah, portray it as something that is going on in a broader sense, but they usually only pick a very small item.
Right. Louis, if I can come to you on that point, what would you like to say to those who have been denying that climate change exists? And this, of course, is not for the first time that we've seen such posts doing the rounds.
What I would like to say is that their grandchildren will regret very much that attitude, because it's been there's 99% scientific consensus on the existence of climate change and on the human-induced cause of climate change. So I think there's a widespread consensus of this phenomenon. Finally, it's been politically accepted, it's socially accepted. I think everybody pretty much agrees on what's going on at the moment. It's not that certain what will happen in the future, but what is very, very certain is that extreme events will tend to increase, and heat waves will increase, and these record-hitting temperatures will increase. So we need to stick to science. We need to deliver science-based targets and objectives, and we need immediate action. Otherwise, we will suffer the consequences in the future, which were already happening right now.
Jos, would you like to weigh in on that? And are these climate change deniers primarily those who would benefit from climate change, as various reports have pointed out?
Well, that's difficult to say. I guess there's a wide range of people that deny that climate change is an issue. And I think that's ranging from people that, for instance, from the oil industry, that have a stake at keeping the same business as usual. There's people that are basically too afraid to see the future in the eyes, so to say. So it's difficult to put one label on them. I guess there's a broad range of people, but yeah, as already was said, we're already facing a lot of damage. Also, if you look, for instance, in monetary terms, that the economies worldwide are already affected by climate change, and so this will increase year after year. Well, it's not only our grandchildren, but I think it's even us that are going to suffer. Well, are already suffering sometimes from what's going on and climate change. So every day we wait to do something about climate change is costly in the end. So yeah, we have to act now.
Right, Louis, just your thoughts on how there is a huge gap between the need for acting against climate change and the kind of action that we have seen so far. There have been a series of pledges and commitments from countries around the world, but there is a lot more that needs to be done. And are we even taking climate change seriously enough when it comes to these efforts by the countries?
Yeah, that's true. And that allows me to introduce another concept which concerns me even more than climate deniers, which are climate delayers, which are this series of groups, political parties, communities that accept the existence of climate change, but they try to do everything in their hands and in their power to delay action in pursuit for short-term economic benefits or for avoiding investment in certain industry areas and benefit other economic areas. They are trying to do their best to bring the attention to other areas of interest. And that's a big mistake. As my colleague already mentioned, we are facing the consequences of climate change right now. And the consequences are not only in terms of heat waves. There are massive implications for the economy worldwide, from food industry to water to electricity to anything, transport. So we really need to acknowledge that this exists. Political pledges are fine, but we need immediate action. And these political pledges, in some occasions, as climate mitigations have been proving, are not enough. So we need to do more in terms of political action.
On that note, we're leaving it there for the moment. Louis and Joss, thanks very much for being here on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.